Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, is the language that web pages are written in. So just as a computer program executes code written in C++ or some other programming language, a web browser will take HTML and translate it so you end up with a nice, shiny web page on your monitor or tablet. The last major revision of HTML, version 4, came out in 1997, but since then, annual internet traffic has increased by many thousands of times, so we've been long overdue for an update to the language that is the backbone of nearly everything you do online. When HTML5 made its debut, most web pages had much simpler layouts and consisted mainly of static images, GIFs, and text. Interactive elements required plugins such as Shockwave or Java, and high-quality streaming video or audio was unheard of. As such, HTML5 didn't have or need native support for a lot of the things that we now take for granted. And then for a long time, nothing changed. Well after sites like YouTube went mainstream and watching TV or listening to music online became the norm, rather than the domain of a few computer enthusiasts in their basement somewhere, most web browsers still relied on plugins and other resource-hogging elements to properly handle this new content. And this was never more evident than when the Apple iPhone showed up, dominated the smartphone market, then, thanks to its browser's complete lack of support for Flash, it couldn't even access many of the fancy-looking interactive websites of the time. The issue was that Flash is a closed standard owned by Adobe and required extra processing power. On a mobile device like an iPhone, resource-intensive standards like Flash can seriously cut into battery life. Apple openly criticized Flash, and other developers agreed that they needed an open-source standard that they could build modern websites around. Enter HTML5. The first draft was published back in 2008, with the final version having been released only a few months ago in October 2014. HTML5 was devised with two things in mind. One, the prevalence of streaming and interactive elements on the modern web, and two, the fact that so many people rely on mobile devices these days instead of the more traditional desktops and laptops. Possibly the biggest change is dedicated video and audio tags. These tags allow HTML5 supporting browsers to play common video formats natively. This makes things easier on both web developers, who don't have to rely on third-party programming interfaces nearly as much to build web pages, as well as on users, who will be able to stream music and video with less of a performance hit and less battery drain. HTML5 offers more than just streaming enhancements, though. Browsers that support HTML5 will have better support for vector graphics, which are commonly used for images other than photographs. Vector graphics can be resized without losing any quality, making their use increasingly popular in modern websites that are designed to be displayed correctly on everything from your phone all the way to your TV. HTML5 will also offer better support for things like drag and drop, an online document, or even video editing, which is increasingly important as we continue to do more and more things through a web browser, like photo sharing and online file storage. So as you're traveling around the web and trying to find ways to earn cheap karma on Reddit or whatever else it is you're doing, pay attention to subtle changes in your browser and see if you can notice whether you can do more with less hardware. Of course, you might just not do that and spend more time actually enjoying your stupid GIFs or whatever else it is on the web and noticing less and less on the technical side, which is, of course, what HTML5 was actually designed for you to do. Speaking of noticing things online, you might have noticed lynda.com, the place to go online and learn things. Head over to lynda.com/techquickie to get a free 10-day trial today. See, we're going to have a link right there. You can check that out. Lynda.com is a fantastic resource for, well, video streaming online, and not just regular video streaming, educational video streaming. Go on and learn at your own pace and pick up a new skill, brush up on one that you've already got. They've got stuff for photography, video editing, coding. You can enhance your hobby. You can also even potentially start a new career through lynda.com. So let's say, for example, you wanted to work for Linus Media Group. We've actually got 3 people here that use their lynda.com obtained skills daily at their jobs. And it's awesome! So there you go, guys. lynda.com/techquickie, linked in the video description. Start learning now. Thanks for watching, guys. Like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you thought it sucked. Leave a comment if you have suggestions for future Fastest Possibles. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of our awesome content. Unless you do, because the subscribe, feed sometimes doesn't push to you. But it's a better chance that you won't miss anything.